Hey guys, today we are talking about waking up early. So I want to preface this first by saying that I do actually wake up at 4 a.m. In the morning, but that it is more like 4 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. I use an app called Sleep Cycle, which allows you to set a 30-minute alarm, and the app automatically kind of listens to your breathing and your movements, and it wakes you up when you are in the least deep sleep during those 30 minutes. And this app is awesome. I highly recommend it. It's free. There is a paid version, but I've never needed it. And it's just a really great way to wake up because you don't wake up feeling as groggy or as exhausted because it's waking you up at the ideal time. So, along with that, you have to understand that I go into work very early in the morning. I don't go into work at 8 or something like that. Most of my work days actually start around 6 a.m. So usually I'm at work by 6 or 6:30. So for me, waking up at 4 is really only waking up to 2 hours before I have to be at work. So keep that in mind as I talk about this. If you want to start waking up earlier or kind of have a routine similar to mine, that might mean that you wake up at 6, that might mean that you wake up at 7, that might mean that you wake up at 2 a.m. I'm not sure what your schedule looks like or what your day job entails, but I wake up about 2 hours before I actually have to be in the office. And that allows me enough time to do, regular morning routine stuff, getting dressed, showering, eating breakfast. But it also gives me generally about an hour to do things that I want to do. So let's dig into kind of why I wake up early, and then I'll talk about how I trained my body to wake up that early, because 4 a.m. is quite early in the morning when it's still dark. So first of all, the reason why I like to wake up at this time is because it is still dark and because the rest of my family is still asleep. It means that my phone isn't ringing or blowing up. I usually don't have anyone emailing me at that time, and so that time is just for me. So I can wake up and not look at my phone and not have any repercussions from that, which means that I can go and do a Bible study for an hour and I'm not getting distracted by notifications or thinking of things that I need to work on. That also means that if I wanted to, I can work on my own business first thing in the morning. Like I said, I do have a day job, and because I go into work so early, it also means that I get off pretty early in the day. I'm usually done by 2 p.m. So for me, I enjoy working on my business a lot in the afternoons because, like right now, it gives me time to film. No one's home yet because everyone else is still at work. It gives me the chance to edit videos, write blog posts, things like that. However, sometimes I'm more creative in the morning. So I might write out an outline for a video I want to film later first thing in the morning. So that way that afternoon when I get home from my day job, I can just sit down and film and I already have it planned out. Whatever you do in the morning is totally up to you. But one of the biggest tips I can give you guys if you want to start waking up earlier is to have a reason to wake up earlier other than just waking up. So if you wake up in the morning because you want to have time to cook yourself a really nice breakfast, or if you want to give yourself the chance to work out first thing in the morning, those are awesome goals, and that way you kind of have a reason for why you are getting up so early. Your goals can range from anything to physical fitness, to having time to meditate or pray, or read the Bible, or just read any book. It might just be that you want to wake up before your kids wake up. Whatever that is, or whatever that goal looks like for you, just keep that in your mind, because it makes it a lot easier to wake up at that time if you have a reason and a purpose behind it. If you're waking up just for the sake of saying that you get up early, you probably will hit the snooze button a couple more times than necessary. Okay, so here are some quick tips for getting your body adjusted to waking up early. Number 1, do it slowly. If you normally wake up at 7 and you want to start waking up an hour earlier, you probably won't be able to do it just off the bat. You might be able to do it for a couple of days, but you're going to fall off the wagon pretty quickly because you're tired. Your body isn't used to waking up at that time. So I recommend waking up in 15-minute intervals earlier. So maybe for 1 week, just wake up 15 minutes earlier. And then the next week, add another 15. And by the end of the month, you'll be waking up a full hour earlier. If your body adjusts quicker than that, great. And if not, then you can space that out even longer depending on what your current habits are or how early you actually want to wake up. You also need to keep in mind, though, that you should be getting enough sleep that you don't feel like a total monster in the morning. There's nothing wrong with needing a cup of coffee, but if you are absolutely groggy and barely awake, then there's not really a point in waking up an hour early because you're barely even there. So make sure that you're going to bed the same amount of time that you are taking off in the morning. So if you want to wake up an hour earlier, you probably should be going to bed an hour earlier. My second tip for you is to find an alarm app that does wake you up a little bit better. So either an alarm app that doesn't allow you to snooze, because snoozing is so bad for your body. It trains you into horrible habits, and it also doesn't allow you to get enough sleep within the snooze time, so it's not helping you. It's actually making you feel more groggy. Or try an app like Sleep Cycle that will wake you up between a time period rather than just at a specific time. That will give your body a more natural rhythm to sleep to, and you will wake up feeling more energized and less groggy. Number 3 is set your phone somewhere else. If you don't want to use an app to wake you up, or if you have an alarm clock that does that for you, then put your phone in another room. It's so tempting to roll over in bed and get on Instagram or check your email first thing in the morning. And the more you can avoid that, the easier it'll be to get out of bed and go get your day started. Because if you wake up an hour earlier and then you just scroll through Facebook for an extra hour, that's not really benefiting your day, and it's kind of silly to be waking up that early to scroll through social media. So try to work on those habits while you're working on your morning routine. Cut out some of that social media stuff until a certain time in the morning. So for me, I don't actually turn off my Do Not Disturb until 5 a.m. That way I can't check my email. There's no new messages coming through. There's no app notifications or anything on my phone when I wake up. And I have my phone automatically set so that it turns on Do Not Disturb around 9 p.m. and doesn't turn back on until 5 a.m. And that way I wake up to no notifications and no temptations. And then my last tip for you guys is to use your bedroom for your bedroom. I know that this can be one of the hardest habits to break because this was something I was terrible at. I enjoyed working in bed. I liked being on my laptop in bed. I liked reading in bed. But if you limit your bed to only sleep and sex, you will kind of start to learn that with your brain. Our brains are really weird, but you can train them to do certain things. And so now when I lay in bed, I am tired because I'm not laying in there for anything else other than sleep. So it's a lot easier for me to fall asleep quickly. I get a better night's sleep now. And again, I love that Sleep Cycle app. I can see how well I'm sleeping throughout the night because it's tracking my sleep quality. So start to pay attention to your habits. Start to look for little adjustments that you can make during your day to make those morning transitions a little bit easier. I will link to some more content about waking up early and things that you can do in the morning to be more productive down in the description box. But for now, that is all. Let me know what time you guys wake up in the morning because I'm so curious about people's morning routines and what time people wake up and what time you have to be at work. So hit me up in the comments and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.